Father, so tell us what happened today.
Well, what happened? Well, we woke up very early this morning to smoke coming throughout the building. We had to evacuate the building, and then we saw some of the flames were starting to come out of the church. So we made sure everyone was safe and okay, and the firemen were right here on the scene.
And what have you learned so far about the condition of the church?
Well, at the moment, we're still undergoing investigation as to what really happened and the condition of the building right now. Structurally, it looks very sound, but we will have to see more here shortly when all the investigation has been completed.
Tell us who your order is and how you came to take over this church, the whole Cardinal George thing.
So we serve with, we're the Institute of Christ the King Sovereign Priest. So we're a spiritual family within the Roman Catholic Church. We were invited here by Cardinal George to take on the project of rebuilding the community here at this church, which had been closed. And the church had been slated for demolition even at one time, but when it was named a landmark of the city of Chicago, the Cardinal George asked us to work to bring it back to life for its resurrection of this community. And so we've been working on that since 2004. In 2007, we were able to have our first masses in the church there, and Cardinal George came for that. And so we've been building a community here around this church ever since.
And tell us, what stage were you at with this church?
Well, at the moment, we were trying to raise a couple $1 million to be able to put in the mechanical systems that we need, the heating and cooling and the plumbing for the restrooms, and also to repair the floor and a lot of other very basic kind of things. The building is really an empty shell with a lot of temporary furnishings. For our people who are here, a lot of people come. This church is their home. And so, but we were trying to really, we had some major steps ahead of us.
Right. And how did you feel about what happened when you were watching this church burn?
Well, I said this is iconic for the city of Chicago. The crest of our archdiocese here, it shows the phoenix coming up again from the ashes. And really, just like the city of Chicago came back after the Great Chicago Fire, and after this church came back from a fire which had begun, which was in 1976 and was reopened in 1980. So also we will continue our work here, and really testimonies to the Chicago spirit, to the faith of Catholics and so many good neighbors from our community, to really to continue the beauty, the goodness and the beauty, and really all the value that so many people receive from this church and this community.
And lastly, tell me about what was salvaged earlier by the firemen and why it was so important.
Yes, well, really the sort of the centerpiece of our shrine is this is called the Shrine of Christ the King, and we have a beautiful statue of Christ, of the Christ child, that comes from the year 1700 from Spain. So he is Christ, the infant King, and the firemen. It's amazing how I was able to to look in the church a few hours ago from the rear view, and to see the statue still standing there while everything else the roof had fallen around it. And so I asked them to save it, and the firemen were able to bring out the statue, bring out also the Holy Tabernacle, which contains the Holy Eucharist. They were able to bring out the tabernacle, and so that was very sort of iconic for us, that really the most important treasure we have here in this church has been saved and rescued. And I think it will bring great joy to all of our people, all of the spiritual stones of this shrine building, we could say. All of our people will be so overjoyed with that, and I think a testimony that we will, with the help of God and with the blessing of the Archdiocese, we will be able to rebuild and to build a new house for this child, which is Christ the infant King, and for all of our children for future generations.